And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Rex, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way.
I'm the greatest of all time.
Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all. Welcome to Fourside Fights, featuring the Cheat, Chroma, Fiction, okay, and Zain. That's good. Can't do a third verse. Hard cut. Hello, citizens of Fourside. I'm Jackzilla, and I know Gimme Dat Wheat's coup of the ranking system will only result in a reign of terror. It's number 2, it's actually extremely respectable to be gold 3 when you have a doctor's note. Number 3, Southwest is dead to me and robbed me of 3 great days practicing against Fox and Falco on net play. And number 4, Zain has a lot of work to do to make PR for Drunk Melee. Let's go to each side. Should we ban alcohol at events to protect Zain's legacy? The Cheat.
Yeah, not just for Zane's sake, but for mine, Smash Camp exists in perpetual rankings limbo. But I've been to everyone stone cold sober, and it's been great, albeit a lot of the fun is because I watch other people slap the bag and take their shirts off and play Mario Party or whatever.
Chroma.
Why am I minus 10?
You were late. You were late. And this is the
fair.
only method I have to enforce
I
time.
was drinking. It shouldn't count.
So, good answer.
What do you tell them?
Alcohol at events.
Yeah.
I said my piece.
Fiction? Hello?
Oh, were you talking to me? I thought you
Yeah,
were
I
still
couldn't
talking
hear
to
what you
Chroma.
said, Jack.
Oh, sorry, I cut out. Fiction, should we ban alcohol at events?
No.
Okay. Zain, what do you think?
No, that shit was dope.
All right. Well,
He didn't lose because of the alcohol. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, fair enough. Welcome to Fourside Fights. We've got 4 outstanding guests today who are going to act as pundits as I throw topic after topic at them. They'll give their takes if they're entertaining or interesting. I'll give them points. If they're boring, repetitive, or patently unreasonable, I'll subtract points. And of course, I can mute any contestant at any time for any reason. The player with the most points at the end is our winner. They get to commentate as the 3 losers take it to Fourside in a free-for-all so we can see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Let's get started with our first topic. It's a doozy. We started last episode on this one, actually, but I want to start it again because I'm looking to hold our community leaders' feet to the fire. This is the one show that had Mario on it. Nobody else could do that after the Nintendo fiasco. Zain, you tweeted out a few weeks back, quote, I hate top players talking about and defending their own rankings in the midst of competition. It's like a game outside the game, and it's content that only outputs moronic takes that no one wants to see anyways. Never catch me doing that shit on stream or on Twitter. But yesterday, you tweet out, 2023 Zain will speak his mind. So is it only ranking discussion that is moronic, or are you prepared to be a moron with the rest of us here on Fourside? Is participating in Twitter discourse moronic? Zain.
I'm ready to be a moron just because it's good for content. But I do think it's whack for players who are going to be ranked to share input on that kind of thing. And it kind of influences like the whole like Hungrybox making a poll like saying he should be like rank 3 or whatever is like absolutely absurd.
Are you scared of what the people would say?
No. I had to think about that.
All right, Fiction, what do you think?
Can you repeat the exact question I'm answering?
Is participating in Twitter discourse moronic? Is this show moronic?
No, of course not. But I do think that talking about your own ranking is really dumb unless it's me.
Unless it's you specifically?
Yeah, because like I should always be ranked higher. It's like a thing. It's like pretty sick. But then like Cody's like I deserve 3 instead of 4 or whatever, and like I don't know. It's serious. It's not funny when it's like that.
There's maybe something about the specificity of naming a number that makes it extremely lame. Like if you just say, I would like to be ranked high, that's different than I'm 5,
here we go.
I want to be 4.
I think you should be allowed to be super mad about your rank that you got. Like you should be like, I got 7. What is this? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But you shouldn't be able to be like, I should have gotten 5th or whatever. I think that's the dumb part.
Yeah. Chroma, what do you think?
I think
Digging
Fiction
yourself
has
out of that
a good
lateness
point.
hole.
Oh no, it's not happening. I'm going to minus 45 this episode. I can feel it. I think the perfect example of this is Mango, who was furious that he got 11th, was angry about it, and then just admitted, yeah, I don't know. I think that's also where I would have put myself at the end of the day. At the end of the day, everyone else is dumb, and I'm smart, and that's what we call fundamental attribution error, and that's something that we must overcome as humans to understand one another. That said, I do think we should have a moratorium on Hungrybox making polls about the rankings. And I think we can all agree on that.
All right. Chroma, how much are you benching these days?
It's actually terrible. That's
Great.
the
The
list
cheat. What's your take on this ranking stuff?
You know, I've long held that rankings being a little bit wrong is actually good for the community, specifically because of the discourse. So I don't think it's dumb. We need more eyeballs, goddammit. Let the rankings be wrong. Who cares?
Well, we're going to get to the rankings more specifically later. This was more just roasting Zain for immediately reversing his position on participating in moronic discourse. Earlier this week, let's move on to topic 2. Earlier this week, Armada expressed his sadness and, dare I say, anger with his post-retirement Melee experiences. The worst of these were death threats, which proves Armada is finally a professional streamer, but the more subtle were the feelings that Mango and others had lied about his legacy and opinions. Mango issued a magnanimous but not full apology and a request to squash the beef in DMs. Armada seemingly did not take him up on this, but Mango promised to back off his shit talk anyways going forward. Then yesterday, Bobak tweets at Armada, putting fear in my heart that the Swede might steal a commentary block from me at Genesis. My question to the Foursiders: what is your take on top players' accountability for their fans' actions, this beef in general? And do you think that Armada will remember that we commentated Shine Double's top 4 together if I see him again?
I have to admit something.
Yeah.
Originally on the schedule, and I will say this, it was me in that block.
Oh.
It was going to be me with Armada. And I said, Armada is one of the greatest players ever to play this game.
This is
He says very brilliant things. I don't think we're going to have a good time commentating together. He doesn't know me. It's hard to get him to say things. I saw Walt saying he's going to commit a felony to get that block. Go right ahead, my friend.
Yep.
That is a difficult nut to crack. The thing that I was most excited about with Armada is that he's here to make a friend. And so I welcome that he makes a friend. He absolutely will not remember you. You look totally different, Jack.
Okay. Zain, what do you think? What's the top player's responsibility for their fans?
I think it's on, in this particular case, I do think it's on Mango to address the death threats in particular. Like, he never, like, condemns it or anything. But I don't think he said anything wrong. Like, about...
I think he said, like, something along the lines of, sorry about the death threats, or, like, the death threats are over the line. I think those were mentioned.
that was definitely late, and should have happened a long time ago. But... in terms of like narrative and stuff, I don't really see any narrative being crafted.
Fiction,
he did say stand back and stand by.
Yeah, he did.
By what?
Your thread on it had some interesting takes. What's kind of your perspective on this situation?
Which part of it specifically?
Hey, you can prioritize.
I mean, let's see. I think it's very obvious that Mango doesn't support death threats. I don't really think that I think that Mango basically did the right thing of like, yeah, like I'll kind of lay off you, but like, I don't know, like it's kind of hard because like I think it's easy to put the responsibility on the streamer, but then I really think the actual responsibility not the responsibility, but the only way to actually fix the problem is to have everybody in the community call out their stupid friends. Because I think that like it's easy to get wound up in like Mango hating on somebody or whatever, and people just want to be involved, and Armada's scared of me, and they go message Armada like, oh, you're scared, aren't you? And it's like, the real thing is to just be like, tell your friends like that's not funny, like you're just being dumb. And I feel like no amount of Mango being like, guys, don't do that will help, because then he'll just be drunk and he'll be like, yeah, that guy's whack. And then of course everyone's gonna be like in his chat, yeah, they're whack, whatever. Like the problem is the dumb people. Not Mango can adjust a little bit, but he can't do everything.
The Cheat, do you agree that people harassing Armada have friends?
Well,
they definitely have friends.
they got some friends. They got some friends. I do agree broadly. I think that this is sort of a problem that exists because of the place that Melee lives in between we're people that nobody pay attention to, and we're so detached from all of it that we can kind of just like tank the death threats and not really notice. It's a delicate situation. It's not even one that I think exists in a lot of other esports, really. Because of the scale that they're on compared to us, where like if you're Armada, you're seeing all of that and it's having an emotional effect on you, and that makes you feel real bad enough to tweet a bunch of stuff about it. And I totally get that. I do think that there's more that you can do as the streamer to kind of cultivate your community to make sure that doesn't happen. Just say like, hey, that shit's not gonna fly. If I see you doing that, you're fucking out of here. We don't fuck with that here, Yeah. But I do think Fiction's right. Ultimately, it is like a culture shift that needs to happen on the ground level. Like, if I had it my way, if you're going to watch Melee streams, you need to go to Melee locals and be around these people and be, personally have your face out there so that you can be fucking named and shamed if you do something whack, instead of hiding behind your anime profile.
I want you to hold on to that idea because we might come back to it later. I want to move on to our third topic, though. We're here with the champion. That's right, Fiction, marking one of the 2 victories in Smash Boxing at Ludwig's Mobile Chess Boxing Championship. Is Smash Boxing, the future of premier Melee content? It was the most watched live Melee set ever. And is West Coast champion Fiction on a collision course with East Coast champion Zain? Let's start with Chroma.
Yeah, I mean, so the first thing I'm going to say, Zain obviously worked quite hard, jumped in late. They, incredible athlete, I would say. Always looked good. Mickey Mouse champion. All right. Fiction fought KJH, who trained hard, gained weight, practiced, trained all the time. Spud took the 40K appearance fee and did not train one bit, and it showed in the ring. Zain really did not have to do much. I do not recognize this fraudulent champion. At the end of the day, I am still waiting for Mango versus Hungrybox, and that's all I got to say. Fiction, #1 GOAT right now. I'm not
Zain, what do you think?
He doesn't play Smash right now.
I was in the room at Big House when Spud had found out that Josh wasn't able to fight anymore, and it was me, Spud, and Zain. And Spud was like, yeah, I don't know who I'm going to fight. And Zain was like, wait, can it be me? And Spud was like... He looked Zain up and down and was like, yeah! And in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? They're gonna beat your ass!
It was doomed from the start. There was never any hope.
I witnessed it. I feel like I should have stopped it when I could, but I was just not surprised when that happened. Like, I was just watching it live and I was like, yup, this is exactly
You're gonna stop him from getting 40K?
I have an opinion on this.
What do you think?
So
Fiction, yeah, go
I was down to fight Zain, like in some other Smash Box. Well, not Smash Boxing specifically because of Jigglypuff. I wouldn't want to Smash Box a Jigglypuff player because they could just stall if they're tired. But I was talking to Zain. We're like, yeah, maybe we'll do like a boxing thing sometime. And then I was like, oh, you know what you should really do? He was on, or they were commentating on the nightclub stream, and I was like, you should fight Josh Man because you both kind of got robbed out of like a good match. And Zain goes, nah, Josh Man's too tall for me to fight. Are you kidding me? Like, you have like a 5-inch reach advantage on me, and you're like, yeah, I want to fight that guy. But then there's some guy who's an inch or two taller than you. He's like 6'3", and you're 6'2", and you're like, nah, I don't want to fight somebody taller. That rubbed me the wrong way. So Zain will not be getting a fight for me until he fights somebody his own height. Or their own height, my bad.
As a personal question, I'm watching this stuff, and I'm looking to. I'm a skinny boy. I'm looking for opportunities to get fit. How does it feel to be punched in the head? Is it worth it?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Okay. The cheat. What was your take?
My take is that we're hiding the true champion in all of this, and that's the only person who's made Saint bleed, and that's me during Smash Summit 11 basketball when I tried to steal the ball from them. You know what? It's time to get my ass into the ring, Ludwig. Where's my 40K?
Would you do it?
Just so you know, it was 20, not
20.
40.
It was 20.
It was 20.
Where's my 100K?
That changes everything.
I was told 40. Mikey, you and me.
All right,
You and
well,
me. I'm ready.
maybe
40K.
everybody but me got 40, and I got 20.
Could be. Yeah, I thought it was great. So, did any takes on like why is this like how Melee draws people in going forward? Is big events that kind of cross over with the larger streaming or more mainstream entertainment?
Yes, I think Smash Boxing in particular is maybe not the thing we all like. It's not going to be the biggest thing ever. I think it'd be a cool event to do sometimes, but I think like the big, like you were saying, the big crossover event is where it's really at. I think that's where everything is going to end up.
In particular, Smashers are willing to grind anything. Like if there's like any mild enjoyment, they'll just be like I was looking at your Twitter feed, Chef, and it was just every day. It was just like, I want to punch someone, and I was like, that's my ass.
Oh no! I will become anyone. If you pay me money, I will do anything. I will get good at literally anything. I'm not kidding.
See, that's exactly what I
put
mean.
that in my notebook of people to bribe for evil deeds.
A deep sea diver, a fighter. I'll do anything.
Fiction, literally, this is exactly what I was thinking when I was watching the event. I had this vision of like Ludwig gets super into rock climbing, and there's like a rock climbing race, and then occasionally they'll pause, lift up a CRT, and then the two players like.
I do it.
Yeah.
Like a Mario Party minigame. That's crazy.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Ranking season is upon us. I'd like to ask our four-siders here, what is the difference between being top 10 in skill versus top 10 in the Melee stats / MeleeItOnMe rankings? What matters more? Let's start with the cheat.
Unfortunately, there are some like material consequences to your rank, especially if you're kind of like in that 15 to 30 range and you're like trying to get a sponsor and all that. It can actually have an effect on you. But it's... To me, I can't get myself to care about rankings, you know? They're like anti-competitive to me. I think in a Melee Utopia, we have some sort of like actual... It's like Slippy Champions League, basically. Like the only thing that matters is the actual outcome of the matches that happen. But obviously, that's like kind of a pipe dream right now.
I don't understand what you mean. Is that not what's happening right now?
Mikey, that's what rankings are. That's the difference between top 10 in skill and top 10s on the rankings. It's who showed up and who won when it mattered. That's what we have to celebrate. No, but I mean, like, literally all we should have to care about is the results of the matches. And not how that stacks up on some leaderboard. It's the Pipsqueak PR. I like the Pipsqueak PR. Yeah.
Oh. You just want to live in the moment. You want to live in the moment. You think we shouldn't be thinking about aggregate.
You're like,
a year is an invented thing.
Yeah, and right now it doesn't work because our tournaments don't really mean a whole lot, you know? Like, they're sort of disparate, you know? And they're just individual results, individual data points that don't really add up to anything bigger.
Zain, which of your major wins do you think is the least important?
The least important. I mean,
and there is a wrong answer here.
No, I agree. All right. No, it's Shine 2018 because I agree with Mikey. Yeah.
No.
And no. Yes. Come on.
No, because if I look at my old sets, I'm like, that doesn't fucking represent me. Because I'm always on to the next one where I'm just like.
But that was where you broke through. That's not your least significant major.
No, he broke through at Full Bloom and Pat's house.
Ooh,
okay, Pat's house
was huge.
Duck did cheat though. And
Fiction, big fan. Yeah. Fiction, what do you think? What is the difference between skill and rank?
I mean, rank, we play in tournament. Like, it's like if you play with somebody for an hour and you win most of the games, sometimes you walk away and you both know who won the session. But if you play in tournament the next day, like, it's just two separate things. Like, we play in tournament to compete to see who can get ranked high, and that's fine. And then skill is like a separate part of it that correlates somewhat, but it's not all of it. I don't think that there should be like a skill ranking or something, but I do think that, you know, it's two separate things.
Okay.
I think that like it's like, are you talking about like my bio? Is that what this is about?
Who's a player? Who's a player who you think their skill is much higher than their rank? Like, who's your top 5 in skill? Whether or not it correlates to the ranking.
But that's making like a ranking of like skill. Like that's the whole thing, is that I'm saying like the only relevant ranking is tournaments because we can do it nice and easy.
Oh, you're like a field-based ranker.
Yeah. This is a vibe.
Well, no, I mean, it's skill. I don't think there's many people that would argue that I'm not top 10 in skill. But like, it's not relevant for any sort of like list.
I think you can list like somebody who you're like, they didn't have a good year, but I still think they're the most skilled melee player.
You could. I just don't think about it that much.
Okay.
I'll give you the answer you want, Jack. Number 1 is Armada.
Okay, like how about this? How about this? Okay, think about it. Like Jmook pre-Genesis.
Yeah.
Does it matter? No, only tournaments matter. No, skill clearly matters. It's just, it doesn't have anything to do with the rankings we do, because you got to show up to the tournament and perform. But like, if Jmook before Genesis was like, you know, I'm feeling top 10 in skill right now, and people be like, ha ha ha, but your rank doesn't measure up to that. But you know, sometimes reality is different from what the rankings say in terms of skill, and that's okay.
Okay.
I think it's neat to differentiate, you know, how people did versus what you would predict happens in 2023, which is, I think, what you're getting at here, Jack. And the correct answer is PC Chris.
I'm not getting at anything. My brain is empty. But go ahead, Chroma.
No, I was just gonna say PC Chris. He's top 5 in skill. I know it. He's coming back. He's ready to whoop everyone.
Isaiah, of course.
Yeah, I think about this year's Plup. You know, like you could go 25-2 with Amsa, and it's like, I don't think that'll really change anything that is published on that list, but it does. I think about it pretty often.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like this viewpoint fiction because it confirms a lot of my priors. All right, any final thoughts on this topic? If not, we're moving on. All right, topic 5. Earlier this week, Melee Stats congratulated Fiction for winning 41 iterations of Vertigo West out of the 46. Verdugo? I don't know. That he attended.
I'm obligated.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I'll give you a point for it.
I was like, I don't want to be rude. But
No. It's a fair correction. I was going to take points, but then I thought, no, that's my bad. You beat S2J 4 times, Null 27 times, Franz 9 times, Westballs 9 times, Suf 4 times, Curve 11 times, Khalid 2 times, Nut 11 times, Army 3 times, Casper 13 times, Mega a bunch of people. Fiction, do you think your 5 failed Verdugos will force the panelists to rank you below Axe, who does not attend locals?
Wait, for like the yearly rankings?
Yeah.
What? The locals don't matter.
That's correct. Fiction wins 20 points.
I'm so confused by the question.
Fiction is unflappable. Chroma, what do you got?
Man, you know, I don't know how many times we have to say this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only way Axe would somehow be ranked below anybody based on locals is if he loses to Nick Yingling 40 straight times and then loses to Nick Yingling at 5 straight majors. That's the only possible way. If I have to explain to Amsa one more time, locals don't matter, I'm going to start asking for names. Who is telling him this?
So, Fiction, how did you come to understand that locals were not a risk to your rank, even if you don't care about it? Whereas other top players seem to be perennially confused about this. What insight did you get that they're missing out on?
I think I just went to a lot of locals and realized it wasn't really happening, like doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think that pretty obvious. I think there was a small stint. I think I mentioned it in like 2019 or something, where like I think Wizzy and like Leffen, there was something about like players DQing or not being active, and then that had given them like a higher ranking because, you know, people had DQ'd when sick. And I remember that whole discussion kind of, you know, bleeding into like the whole local thing. And then a lot of times like local PRs will, you know, count activity differently or unfairly and stuff like that. So I don't really know how people got confused, but I think that's kind of where it came from, sort of.
Zain, you got to take on the paranoia that people have about locals when it comes to rankings.
I think players are just looking at Reddit too much. So I've seen Leffen after a loss at like a major or something, and he's on his phone and he's just scrolling through, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, How are you?
God.
Like, no wonder you're like.
How many thumb flips on average? Like, what's the difference between the thumb flips for a win versus?
He'll go to the very bottom.
He's Hboxing?
Yeah.
Insane.
Good God.
Leffen will see a hidden comment with negative 43 points, and he's just like, bet it's about me. This person's an idiot.
But you know
Opens
what?
it.
Leffen is kind of an anomaly because he will use that as fuel and then actually attend his locals and stuff. But there are people who like they'll read Reddit and stuff, and they're like, man, like I had a stretch where I went to the cave for like a few weeks, and I lost to a mod. I went like Fox for 2 games, and I was down 2-0, and then I was like, all right, enough's enough. I'm gonna pull out the Marth, and I just lose the next game like a fucking idiot. But I mean, I'm not like checking like Reddit and stuff. Like that's not gonna like. I don't know if there was a thread or if that exists out there. I don't know how many people are talking about it, but it's not gonna discourage me from like going. If anything, it's like, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Reddit is full of experts on things like how to locate people who have committed terrorist attacks and why Mewtwo King should go to the doctor. So I don't see what the problem is here.
I will say this. Melee Reddit gets a lot of shit all the time. I think it's a very easy target. Is there anybody that you see that has a good relationship with Melee Reddit and you feel like it enriches their experience in the community? Does that person exist?
$100?
All right. That might be our Smash Bros, which is different.
r/Black People Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I think
shit.
anyone who wants to play the victim will love Reddit. That's what I think.
Well, I used to love Reddit when I was on the come up because G-subs would just post clips of me under the name Mercurial, and it was just like Zain does triple edge cancel on so and so.
On that stupid
And it was
site.
yeah, and I'd be like, this site's fucking awesome. And then
Every thread was just like, Zane's a goat, Zane's such a goat. Every single thread, the whole thing.
Were
And
they wrong?
I would just read it so mad, like, he's not the goat yet, not yet.
He hasn't
thought
even
Dio
ranked
was
once
better.
yet, and the vibes are not there.
I thought Mix was better. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't know who Mix is, man. I'll be
Correct
real with
answer.
you.
This hurts me.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine from IU. I think it was at like the Big House 6 or something, and you were on stream, and he was like, "That guy's the future of Marth," and I was like, "No, man, you're the future of Marth," and he was not the future of Marth. I don't even remember. All right, let's move on to our next topic. At Redemption Rumble, Aklo triumphed over notable last place Fourside fighter Kadoran using his Link. We also saw Fiction here take Zain very close with a Sheik. What is the role of secondaries going into 2023? And how am I supposed to process that Aklo Kadoran set? Is Kadoran bad? Is Aklo good? Is Link underrated? Help me make sense of the role of these wacky secondaries going forward. The cheat.
Yeah.
You could start us off as a wacky Luigi player, right? That's something we scorn you for.
I think the chump check is always going to be there. It's always going to be a threat. We can always pretend that, we're going to advance the meta past the point where the mid tiers are going to become irrelevant. You will always lose to my Luigi on ranked, and that's how it's going to be. It really does seem like there are fewer and fewer bastions of non-secondary melee. It's really like Zain, Cody, Hbox. Who's the next domino to drop? I wonder. Is it going to be everyone has to pick up a pocket whatever to compete?
I don't think it's about pocket whatever. I think just as players get better at the game, we realized, you could just play a slightly different character that's way better at a situation. I don't think there's that many. Like, there are differences between the characters, but once you know the game pretty well, it's like not that ridiculous. So I just think we're all getting better at the game. So playing a second character, and people are playing a lot more, and there's a lot more tools to play, like ranked and stuff. Like, my Sheik would not be as good as it is. I mean, not even that it's that good yet, but like, it wouldn't be anywhere close to where it is if I hadn't had like ranked or something to just grind on this whole time. Like,
You could do basically the same amount of practice like an MLG era player got in 10 years in like a month.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially like in terms of different matchup experience and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. It's really it's just a lot easier to pick up another character now than it ever was before.
Chroma, what do you think?
First off, I want to say, fuck the Nets, fuck Eric Adams, fuck Kevin Durant. And
And fuck the Rats.
Fedoran
run the
is
city.
up on Aklo. I think it is all just bullshit. No, I mean, in reality, I think what we're realizing is that some people really do have that secondary dog in them. And some people really are just, with their main ride or die, I'm going to grind out the matchup. And there are people like Aklo who, they see the game differently. They play exceptionally well with a lot of different styles, and they throw off people's pace and have some pretty, some pretty smart ideas as to what characters can throw people off. I think that's good. And then some people really are just single mains, and that's just both part of people's play styles. I mean, Fiction is someone I've always thought of as having a bunch of characters. Free Palestine is another person who I think is not a single main, right? So it just has to do with how you see the game, how you like to rotate between characters, what you find interesting, and, competitively conducive to good success. I think we see more of it.
Zain, what do you think? I'm leaving you for last because your case as a solo main is always the most interesting to me. We brought up this topic before on Fourside. What's your belief about the role of secondaries?
I think it depends on where you are at skill-wise. A lot of people fall into the trap of like trying to pick up a secondary when they're like not even top 100, which
a really
is
good
egregious. Yeah. So like.
Oh, okay. Egregious.
Even for egregious, I lost points.
Yeah, listen, I like playing other characters. Does that mean
So it depends on what your goal is. If you have a set goal of wanting to become a top 5 player, then you probably shouldn't pick up a secondary yet. Even in Aklo's case, I think the Link is a bad idea. Now, it can probably be Kadoran right now, but every time he picks Link against me, for a second, I'm like, oh god. And then I start playing it, and I'm like, oh, nice. It's just like, that's a weird case because it's a low tier, but I do think it is hindering his overall, like, his Fox, because he always has that in the back of his head, like, should I cheese this person with Link? And if he really wants to push for, like, top 10, top 5, I think he's got to go all in on Fox.
So you don't think Link is a mid tier? You think he's a low tier, trash, can't beat anybody?
I think Link is closer to low. I would say DK's more mid.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think when I was watching the grand finals, it was really apparent to me, like when Aklo started as Link and then went Fox. In my head, I was like, he's got to stay Fox. Like the Link switch, it felt like a mental weakness to switch back to Fox, and then the Fox isn't working out. I guess I'll just try Link again. And then Kadoran kind of just got thrown off from like lack of experience and stuff like that in my head.
Kadoran gave it to him.
Yeah, like Kadoran just kind of gave it to him, and then it's like, yeah, Aklo's Link wins, and now he's more willing to go Link next time and slow himself down even more. And but also, it's like it's hype, so it's fine. But like
he gets fed the illusion of the New York crowd of being like, oh, you just won with Link, and now he's gonna keep doing it. And
like I think it's sick that he goes Link. I think it was hype. I love it. But if I was his coach, I'd be like, nah. Like, no, you're staying Fox. Like, if I was actually coaching him, I would be super on that. Like, play Link at your freaking, like, local, dude, not, like, majors and stuff.
So,
although I think there are contexts where maybe Link on, like, FD or something could be good.
I think that's fine.
Zain, would you consider picking up a secondary alongside your Marth for any situations? Or are you ride or die, Marth is 51% win rate or better on everybody?
I thought about it for stuff like Puff Chic, and I was toying with it. But I think even though I'm even if I'm a top 5 player, I still think I have a lot left to work with as Marth in every single matchup. So it's hard for me to justify completely committing to a matchup like Puff Chic.
What would need to happen for you to change your mind on that?
I mean, I would have to get really destroyed, and it would have to be like really bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally
I'll be watching for that drama.
Maybe like 3 or 4 years from now, Zain might feel some pressure to go like Fox Chic or something like that. That's my opinion. I think like as the meta goes further, the matchups are gonna be like any losing matchup just gets more like compounded, and you start being like, why? Like Zain's Fox is gonna be so nasty in 4 years. I'm not like, I don't expect him to be like worried at all. It'll take too long to pick up a Fox or something like that. And
is there a Puff on the horizon at all?
I think Sheik beats Puff. I think that's like a matchup that'll kind of get like it'll progress in Sheik's favor as time goes on. I think it'll become less appealing to play Puff in that matchup. At least as like a secondary pick. I think Hbox will always be fine against Sheik and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. Slippy Ranked is here. My mind is buzzing. Will Slippy Ranked show us true matchup spreads at every level of play? Is lag too much interference to care about these leaderboards? Are we going to see a ranked content explosion continue like we've seen in the first few weeks? Is this the end of locals? I want to ask our panelists here, what is the most significant consequence that you think Slippy Ranked will have on the Melee scene? Let's start with the cheat.
You know, I don't think that this is necessarily a bad thing for in-person attendance. I think on the whole, these like drops from Fizzy grow the community. I know Golden Guardians did a poll in one of their videos, and the plurality of Melee players that they surveyed were actually Slippy kids. I think that's kind of borne out, even if you just go to tournaments and talk to people and play friendlies with them. It's like more of them than I think we consciously realize are like very new to the game, and I think Ranked will add another bump to that. Sure, you know, weekly attendance at these like card shop tournaments might go down, but there are more problems than just that with those tournaments. I think we kind of have to change our strategy in terms of how we concept our local tournaments. You know, they gotta have a little extra sauce to them, a little extra spice. But I think on the whole, the biggest consequence is that it's going to just add more people to this new, new era of people who are coming into the game. It's almost as big as the Dot Kid wave, I think. I'd like to see some statistics on it.
Oh, it's big.
Well, the Doc, it might be similar in absolute size, but definitely not as a percentage.
Probably. Oh, yeah, right. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Chroma, what do you think?
I think Slippy Ranked is the gateway into getting these Slippy kids into the sweet, sweet world of competitive Melee. I think locals have been, depending on the type of local, out for a bit. What work are Smash Fests, what work are tournaments that are fun, so you know, something at a bar or something where you hang out, regionals. Because at the end of the day, it won't be the end of what we refer to as locals, because people still care about being the best in their region and being the top dog and meeting people and hanging out in real life. I think it has been great for streams. I think some of the rankings are scuffed in some sense. I mean, I think it's interesting to get to top 50. I think at some points it's about, you know, how many sets do you play? Who do you get to dodge? And, you know, who do you have to play? Who has a laggy connection or something like that? And I think Fizzy's actually working on that quite a bit. I think Slippy Ranked is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Fiction, what do you think the big consequences will be?
I think we're already seeing players get more consistent tech skill in a wide variety of matchups, just because you have a bunch of different matchups that you can play on it. I think it's going to be really good for the meta, and I think it's going to get a lot of people in the game. And I personally think that like it's good for locals, because I think that like anybody, I feel like just my experience and just seeing other people, if you get into a game and you're going to grind ranked in that game, you start getting an ego, and then that's what the tournaments are for, is you start being like, man, I'm beating these people. I've been seeing these people do well at my local. And then you go to your local to see how well you can do. Or just, you know, because I think the big problem is that a lot of newer players don't want to go to tournaments because they don't feel confident. And I think Ranked lets them like ease into like the competitive environment, kind of like what Chroma was saying. So
yeah, I still get crazy anxiety in person, and it's a lot more manageable when I'm literally at home.
And I think it's way better than net play tournaments, because net play tournaments, you end up with like 3 hours of downtime, like during like a 5-hour tournament or a 4-hour tournament.
You leave net play tournaments alone, man. There's nothing.
No. I think net play tournaments are fine, but I think like that people can. I don't know. Like if somebody just gets home from work and it's 11 p.m., they don't have to like try to find a tournament that's
been a hard day sending emails.
They can just play a bunch of games of Ranked and go to bed. They don't need to commit to like multi-hour time frame. I think online
or commutes. You get to work from home with Melee. Zain, what do you think?
I actually don't think it'll have a huge effect on the local scene. Simply because right now the only local scenes that are pertinent to me are SoCal and New York. And New York's doing a really good job. But what I've noticed is that, and what makes me a little sad, because I grew up on like the regional pride and stuff like that with like college and MDVA scene. But I think we're seeing now that Discord communities have kind of taken, it's the new social norm, and there's no more regional pride. It's just like, which people am I close with all across the country that I've formed this like weird little niche with. And I think most people are content to stay within those like kind of Discord groups. I do think a lot of like, especially better people on like rank and stuff will start venturing out to locals. But I don't see it having a huge impact.
Okay. Do you think
I've
it'll
just
change anything
definitely
about the meta?
seen-
Oh, fiction. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I've just definitely seen people who are kind of like semi-retired or whatever, or they've kind of fallen out of attending tournaments, and then rank came out and they just play a little bit and they realize they're having a good time and they come back to local. That's just my observation. I don't know if that's like a huge number of people, but I've definitely seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think this will change the meta of the game at all? Are people going to be able to experiment more? Are we going to get... My prediction has been for a long time as a long-time League of Legends player that ELO destroys people's minds. Seeing the number go up is something that irreversibly changes how you see the game, and that we will see a rise of just like the campiest play you've ever seen, the most lasers, the most ledge grabs, running away as far as you can. To be honest, it hasn't happened really as fast or as significantly as I thought it would.
You haven't played Luigi on ranked.
Okay. Tell me, G, about your experiences. Do you think this will change the way people play the game?
I think a little bit. Yeah. It's definitely different from unranked. Maybe that's only because they can't really like quit without consequences, and the people who would have quit on me before are just camping me now, and that's how it's going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think that the effect of kind of like this person pops up on the leaderboard and then we get to see them, kind of make their breakout at in-person tournaments is a really cool effect that was nice to see around the time that like Summit 11 happened and Riptide and those events. I think that'll kind of pop up again as we see people shoot up the leaderboard, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't really worry that the ELO is going to like get to our heads and become all-consuming or anything. I think we kind of understand that it's like it doesn't really mean shit. It's just like
I don't know, man.
No, I actually super disagree. I think
Really?
I think that if it doesn't mean something to you, that means you're a good, like, emotionally healthy individual. But that is not the majority of people in the Melee scene.
That's right, sir. That is right. That's
I'm
me.
I'm gonna
And
say
I
it here.
think that just as I remember years ago playing StarCraft 2, and that was like my first ladder experience, and I remember definitely getting like ranked anxiety, and I would like, cover up my ranking when I'd hit Q so that I didn't like see what it was and stuff. And I think I'm kind of past that now, but I think that
Because you got.
I don't know.
really
I think
good.
people get caught in this loop where they're like, I don't care. It's fine. And then they lose. This has happened to me. Even though I don't care about the Melee ranking, I'll lose like 1 or 2 sets, and then they're like, yeah, here's this guy that you can just force stock over and over. And it's like, oh, am I that guy now? Is that who I am? Because I lost 2 sets. And I think that especially people who are like, not winning the local every week, that would get to be a lot more. Like if I was showing up and losing at locals, and then I showed up on ranked, and then I lost twice, and they're like, "Oh, here's day 1 Mario," I would go crazy. So I get it. I don't think there's any way to avoid the incoming mental collapse of the community that will slowly occur. But I think we just got to deal with it as best we can.
I don't know. I think on an individual level, that's true. I just mean broadly, we're always going to prioritize in-person tournaments the highest.
Of course.
And yeah.
Well, you could
I think
even,
that's good.
like you said, to me, it's the kind of, augmentation. We're going to be a cyborg community, and it's like, oh, we could have a silvers only bracket or like a gold only bracket. And if you have 200 sets, you could have. This is exactly what they do in games like chess. Don't they have like ELO locked tournaments?
I mean, it's like
Yeah,
Arcadian,
people's Smurf.
right?
Yeah, but you don't have ping in chess.
Hey, you do the best with what you got. It's better than not having any system at all to filter. Chroma, what do you got?
So in chess, people actually do throw and then try and win the class tournaments. I think this is a world where we can mock people and you don't get like $3,000 for winning the silver tournament.
Yeah.
So I think it can work. I will say ranked is different. Coming from chess, it is wild to watch Mango, who has played for insane amount of money in incredibly tense scenarios in front of massive crowds, like camp cliche and then like yell the C word. I've never seen
That was pretty
anything
good.
like it.
You should see what they're doing to my Roy out there, man. it's fucked up out there. Yeah,
God,
man.
yeah.
I've gotten really good at dealing with the platforms.
Yeah.
really good.
It's a whole new thing.
I will say there's like when I play Samus on ranked, it is incredible. The taunting, the D-pad usage increases literally 100-fold compared to Fox. I think it's just because people have time compared to like a Spaceys matchup. But there is something about playing shit characters that gets people going.
People kept taunting me in unranked, and I realized they were laughing at my tag, which was I, BBW.
Very good, Chroma. Very good.
IMDb.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Controllers. My Dactyl Manuform is coming in the mail, and at least 2 people with us today are going to try to ban them or something. Here's what I have to say to that. Come and take it. Does the Second Amendment apply to controllers? Why or why not? Let's start with thecheat.com.
It's literally the same argument. It's unrealistic to take the guns away. We all hate them, but you can't do it. And it's unrealistic to take the notches away, even though they should have been banned in the first place. I can't believe it. I can't believe that some people in this community legitimately believe the anti-science take that this will just happen naturally over time. It reminds me of Aaron Rodgers and his alternate immunity bullshit. It's the same thing.
Now, I do appreciate a good Aaron Rodgers slam, and but I gotta say, this sounds like a liberal answer. Here's the difference between the Second Amendment and controllers. You gotta show up to the tournament and play with the controller. All it takes is just to check and say, oh, you got way too many notches there, brother. You better throw that against the building, because that is illegal.
Yeah, when
It's
I show
that
up to the
simple.
gun range, you think they're checking if my clip is legal?
It's not a gun range, though. It's a competition.
Yeah, it's different.
I
That's
guess
the big
fair.
difference. We have the power. We can do whatever we want.
Well, we could stay at home. I mean, I feel like 90%, not even 90%, 99% of high stakes melee is people on ranked with their heart thudding. Like, is that going to be fall? Is that easy to regulate via Slippy too?
No, you're screwed there. But in real tournaments, it's gone too far, folks. Left and said, yeah, I don't care if my controller's got 20 macros in it. I'll do 1,000 macros before I let my company die to boxes. It's gone too far. Zain, what do we do?
My least favorite thing to read is Leftman being like, as a long proponent of someone who's against notches, it's just too late, man. As he's hitting them with angles on me. Yeah, no shit. I don't know. It's like, it could be like ping pong, where we check each other's paddles or controllers between.
Do you feel you have a conflict of interest, Zain? Do these controllers help Spaceys more than they help Marth?
Absolutely, they do.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So
dude.
why are you so biased and lie?
No, that's not fair. Dark Hero is busted. I saw that man do terrible, terrible things, and I don't think the Pip loss should count. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fiction, what do you
Shout out to
think?
Dark
What kind of steroids are you rocking in this melee world?
What am I using right now? I have a Goom Wave. I think the recent posts about Goom Wave have heavily exaggerated the cheating aspect of the Goom Wave. I have definitely been made aware that the dash back out of crouch is slightly too forgiving. It's mostly the method that it uses, where I guess the dash back out of crouch, because basically I think the ultimate way to make a controller, or the correct way to make a controller, is to just, rather than having a bunch of weird pod trade-offs, you just do what the Goom Wave does, and you use the pod that would make sense based on like the movement you're doing. But I was informed that for the dash back out of crouch, it actually moves your stick value further along than it is. And so I think in that case, the dash back out of crouch should be nerfed. I was like, have I been cheating this whole time? And I like picked up my random old backup OEM that barely works, and I just dash back out of crouch like 10 times. So I'm like, oh.
You're built
So you're good.
But like,
so maybe that's our solution, is instead of banning these controllers, we just give you a randomized notch, and you have to prove you can do it on vanilla. And if you pass the test, you can use your controller that has fancy colors and that you paid $500 for.
I don't know, maybe.
My main motivation for wanting notches banned is that every time I play Cody and he misses his notch, he goes, huh, interesting, I guess my notches are broken. And I'm so tired of it, man. I don't want to listen to that anymore.
Man, I think the answer to all this is literally there is an answer. I don't know if we'll do it. It's software side. We should just have everything that we want in UCF, but like we let all of the shit out into the world, and we don't even know what half of it does.
The only broken thing right now, outside of dash back of crouch on Goom Wave, is boxes. I don't think fobs and Goom Wave or notches are a problem.
No,
I think definitely
notches. They by definition are a problem.
How's that?
Okay, I think that part of the philosophy of competitive melee is that there are some things that we think it's important for competitive melee to test, and one of those things is hitting precise analog angles. And there are precise analog angles that you can assist yourself in hitting with notches that you will not get on any out-of-the-box GameCube controller. And I think that those things are not they are not competitively integritous.
I mean,
I love that word.
You can develop notches on a normal controller, though.
For Firefox angles?
Oh, come on.
I hate that argument.
No, I mean,
Why do you
There's
hate it,
no
Zain?
way.
Why do you hate it?
There's no. I want to see data on this.
What I'm saying is that if somebody comes to a tournament and they just took a knife and just slightly adjusted their controller, you would not be able to tell from normal wear and tear. That is the point I'm making. Not that Firefox notches spontaneously appear on controller. Because like, if you look at my controller, my notches are like 99% gone. I mean, you can't really see it on the stream, but my notches have been 99% gone forever. But like, just that little tiny bit is like enough. And like that is enough that you would not be able to see it if I showed it to you like on like a, you know. So I think it's very difficult to like judge where that is. But that's my opinion on it.
Oh my god, they built ghost guns.
What?
They built undetectable.
Oh, yeah. That's right. The Second Amendment doesn't apply to my guns if you can't see that.
Yeah,
They're made of plastic.
Zain,
printing.
you reacted pretty heavily to Fiction's argument there. Why do you think he's wrong?
I just don't think that you would have access to all of the angles. Like, if you purposely notch everything on a controller, like, sure, like, eventually over time you might accidentally like form a notch or something, but it's not going to be the same level as hitting every single precise little notch.
When did people start notching? In truth, when did that start?
I think like 2015, 2016.
So, as I understood it, there was a history of it pertaining to shield drops at some point, and then people started asking reasonable questions like, okay, why don't I just put a Firefox notch? I know my case in particular was playing around with like which notches were optimal, which ones allow you to shine and then still move forward at the same time. But I can't say where exactly I first saw Notch. It was probably Sung.
Okay, so should we just discount all of Melee past 2015-ish?
Yeah.
Ken is the king again.
It's the steroids.
I'm down.
era,
I
it's
was better
fine.
than Zain.
I think Barry Bonds should be
Ken's the
involved.
king. Fiction better than Zain. He's on Survivor.
I mean, I'm still
Great.
kind of better, but whatever.
In skill.
I know you believe it too. And it's
Girl, you play
beautiful.
one character. You play one character.
I will whoop you right now with Roy or
Get
Paul.
top 10. Okay, perform
Save
at
it for the
top 10
Fourside
level
Fight.
with either spacey.
Wait, what'd you
We'll
say?
see. We'll see what happens.
Perform at a top 10 level with either spacey.
Okay, I will.
All right. And then I'll say
damn.
we're, and then I'll say you're as good as me.
Okay. Good talk.
All right, and I will give 20 points to whoever is right when next time they're on Fourside Fights. All right, next topic. One thing that constantly fascinates me is how differently people process information in Melee. Foursiders, what sets you apart in how you process the game? And do you think you're right to use this method? Let's start with Chroma 09.
Well, as a very high level player myself, with other great esteemed high level players, I think my way of processing information in Melee is maybe not as conducive to competing as it should be, which is a downside. I think what actually hurts me is watching a bunch of the game and maybe, doing what I think is understanding it in some sense on a commentary level. And then when I go to play it, I'm like, well, wait, no, that looks bad what my opponent is doing. Or I watch myself and I just see all these things that I need to take away from my play. And I think it drives me crazy. I think it is just actively harming my enjoyment of the game to do that. I need to just have more cowboy energy when it comes to like assessing myself and my play, and also think that I know less. I think that's also holding me back. My notion that I think I know what's right.
Yeehaw, brother.
The cheat, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to collect the Norwalk Infinity Stones. I beat Hugs at the crew battle. I beat Duncan Alex 19 on ranked. I already took a game off of one of our guests here. I'm gonna beat Zain after I beat Lucky, so that's how it's gonna go.
You're on a warpath.
My power's growing. The gauntlet's
All right.
gonna be full.
Zain, what do you think?
What was the initial question?
Do you think that there's a way that you process information that's different than other players? That's kind of that you're like, they see the game like this, but I've got a kind of my own perspective and mental models that work. I'm trying to get free coaching. This is what's happening. Did you see the Chiron? This is a scam. You're being scammed. Get me the diamond.
No.
King.
It's proprietary.
If you don't answer, he will take points away. I want
Yeah,
you to know
Fiction,
that.
what do you got? Zane's abandoning ship.
Okay, if you're trying to get good at this game, there's only one way to do it.
Watch Fiction VODs.
You find 2 to 3 ways that keep happening. You're like, man, I keep rolling into this stomp. Man, I keep dropping this one combo. And you just fix it. You just spend time fixing those 2 or 3 things, and then they're fixed. And now the next time you play, you gotta have different problems to fix. And you just
That is
repeat
true.
that until you're good. And
What if the problems are
there was
co-correlated?
another part of that, which was that what did you say?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, just that I think my way of processing the game, I feel like I don't know, I kind of get like I get kind of intimate with the other player. I like to understand them as like a person. I like looking really deep into like their fears and their confidences and stuff like that. And I feel like for most of the other top players, Zain and Cody, they just rely on playing a lot and they have like really insane mechanics. And I think that that's the part of it that carries them. And I think that I have generally weaker mechanics. And so I think that like that's the part I have to focus on more. And I think that I don't know. That's just kind of like
you have
my
a sort of
perspective
therapist
on like
approach
what
to
sort
the
of
game.
Did you just call yourself a more empathetic person than me? Is that what just happened?
Maybe in the game.
Yeah, you do play Marth, which is one of the least empathetic characters in the game.
So it's a fucking
True.
lizard, I guess. I guess
20 points to
hollow husk of a fucking person.
You're
I
Melee's
learned.
most goated sociopath.
So Zain, you didn't have an answer to this, which is kind of the sociopath's answer. You're like, I don't think differently. I don't think at all. I just do.
So when I did Medify.com, I don't know my fucking Medify, man. It's trash.
Wow.
I had the same.
Did Mewtwo King get you?
I was yes, but I was doing the same spiel over and over again to the same skill level of players where I was just.
And what exactly was that spiel?
Well, first I was like, "What do you want from the game?" That's the first thing to identify, right? And people would have different answers. Some people just wanted to come and play me and not listen to anything that I said, and then be like, "Best of 3," and I'd be like, "All right, sure," and then they pay me like $80 or whatever. But I think it is important. Well, Chef's right. Like the first thing that you need to focus on before you can really think about like those like deep fucking interactions is just learning how to move. And most people just do not know how to move. And the first 2 or 3 years of your Melee career is simply that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will focus. Like I have a friend from college who was like so into the analytics of the game and understanding mix-ups, but his punish, I was like, when was the last time you ever hit a Ken combo? And he was like, oh my God. Like, that's just the problem that people need to fix. But they want to skip ahead to like what's more interesting. I'm just now reaching that part of Melee, which is why it's such a crazy game, because I like understand things mechanically. Yeah.
All right, I guess you're a little less of a sociopath now. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Genesis is coming up. Something like 87 out of the 126 players who were nominated to be ranked this year will be in attendance. This is a mind-bogglingly stacked tournament. It's on the level of some previous Genesises, some Evos from like 2014 to 2016. It's like 70% participation. Is there anybody you're expecting to do way better than others might think? Are there any potential J-Mooks lurking around on ranked right now, waiting for Zain to destroy their secondary Fox in Game 3 of Grand Finals? Chroma.
No. We have correctly seeded everybody. We have a complete understanding of people's skills. There will be no upsets in the entire bracket. It's all going to go to chalk. I will say I think Jackzilla is going to do better than we think, unless Armada walks by. If Armada walks by, it is curtains for Jack.
It's bad.
Jack can't do it. It is just one of the worst collapses I've ever seen in Melee.
Yeah, that was at Shine backstage. We were playing a great friendly session. My secondary Peach, Armada walked by, and I went, oh, you were Peach?
I was Peach.
Okay. Well, Armada walked by, and I felt very embarrassed.
You
about
wanted to
everything
show
that
him you knew how to beat Peach.
I did not. What do you think? The cheat? You got anybody?
It won't be like a huge earth-shattering event, but I'm gonna go back to the great state of New York, baby. I think that Aklo could give us a top 8 run. Attendance was kind of sparse in 2022, but 5th at Apex, 9th at main stage, the Redemption Rumble win. But he hasn't really had like a top 8 and a really big one, and I think Genesis might be the time for him.
It's a good take. Fiction, what do you think?
Okay, so first of all, with J-Mook, I feel like a lot of us knew J-Mook was coming.
Yep.
Maybe not to the level, like the exact level and consistency that he made it, but there was a very clear J-Mook's like top 25 level now, but he's still not attending. And then I was like, I played him in 2019. We had like a last hit game 5 against my Fox, and I was like, oh, J-Mook's like he's clearly top 15 level now. And then like 2 years passed, and he showed up, and he's like top 10, top 5-ish level. So it's like, that's not it wasn't that surprising. He didn't really come out of nowhere unless you were just kind of like a casual.
Yeah.
Among the top players, we all knew for sure. I think the highest performing unexpected people at Genesis might be like unbanned players. Like I don't know like how good Hax is. I don't know if Zion is unbanned. Like people who will basically, dude, don't underestimate when people get banned, they grind. There's like 10 months and then I'll show them all. Like, and they just literally grind 47 hours a day. And so you just don't know. Unbanned players can pop off. I think we saw Hax at the nightclub. He clearly looked like the best player there mechanically, but he definitely, from not entering a tournament for a long time, he got bodied by Akla when the pressure was on. But yeah. I think he's looking pretty scary. We don't really know where he could take it, and but I don't think there's no other J-Mooks lurking out there. We know that as of now there are no other J-Mooks.
There's no COVID to hide them from us either.
Yeah, we knew about that guy.
Yeah. Zain, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Shep. I don't think there's anyone who's gonna really surprise Zion. I've run into a lot and is definitely like top 20 level. And if he is going and does make a crazy run, people will absolutely have no idea who he is, and it'll be like the jamming situation all over again. But other than that, there's no like crazy hidden boss. My pick for someone who's gonna do really well, who's already like at the top, is Moki. Just because I played him today. Aww. Yeah, I played him today.
This is nice.
he seems, I think he's in a better headspace competitively, and he's grinding the game, taking notes, putting in the proper work ethic. You'd be shocked how many people at the top don't put in like the right work ethic. And I just see it with him right now. So I would not be shocked at all if he made a crazy run.
I take the under on Zion, and the reason is I have my Twitter open, and I'm noticing he responded to somebody criticizing the Red Adidas gang with an epileptic screamer meme. I don't think he's gonna make it. Maybe he makes Genesis, but it's looking kind of grim. Kind of
just from like a.
You don't want to be replying to people on Twitter if you're trying to win. That appears to be your.
Not with epileptic scream. Not really showing that he wants to win is really all I'm gonna say.
I hear you. All right, let's move to our final topic before the tiebreaker. Pay-per-view. Hbox sees himself as a Melee pollster trying to steal my swag with recent questions on whether spectators would be interested in pay-per-view Melee. Does this idea have any merit? Let's go pretty quickly. We're getting to the end of our time here. The Cheat, what do you think?
Plenty of merit. Please go to bts.gg/shop and continue to give me as much money as possible.
All right. What do you think, Fiction?
Nah, Smashers don't like paying for anything.
Yeah,
that's
open source game. Zain?
They hate paying for literally anything. You're like, hey, here's this local you attended like 50 times. And they're like, yeah, I love that local. And they're like, yeah, man, we've been having some tough issues with the venue. They're really cracking down. Can you give an extra $5 venue fee? And they're like, you'll never see me again. And it's like, dude, like they're not going to pay per view. It's just not going to happen. Like the Smashers.
Yeah. Flipping the bird to the TO. Supply and demand, motherfucker, as I leave the venue for the last time.
Literally, though, I don't know. People are crazy over like $5-10 in Melee. I understand money can be tight, but like, I think it's almost like an on principle thing that Smashers are like.
Yeah, and if they could win the local, then they could make that money back, but they never think about that. Yeah. Zain, what do you think?
No, I don't think there's a place for it in regular tournaments. For something like a special show match or something that more replicates
like a smash boxing.
Yeah. But even then, like it's done by Lud and. He's just benevolent, so like I just never see it a world where
I get scared of the idea of if Ludwig switches on us, it's lights out.
Oh, it'd be funny though, the drastic change. Yeah.
He's gonna hit 1 billion for the first time, and he's just gonna be sitting there, and they're like, Ludwig, and he's like,
Chroma, what do you think? Pay-per-view? Can you save Hbox's idea here? Everybody's shitting on it.
Yeah, I think Hbox does not have exactly the right phrasing, but there is an idea. And there are two ideas, one legal, one illegal. The legal one that I have is just Hungrybox says, I will team at you at a major. $3,000. That works. Logan paid for the Apex flight, I think, because this happened. And that's Logan. And no disrespect to Logan, but you got touchdown Juan up here, right? And maybe Logan a little bit farther down. The other thing that I always kind of wanted was some sort of money match scheme where you get to bet on players and the house takes a rake. And there's no way this is remotely legal, but I still think it's a better idea.
Gotcha.
Could you imagine Hbox just teaming with some poor random guy who paid $3,000? Like,
Yes.
don't you dare fucking
No,
take
I
this
can.
Yes, he did.
I can so
He says,
imagine,
"Thank you,
man.
sir."
Oh, no.
I immediately was like, I could start saving. This is not a bad idea. All right, I could do that for a couple hours in one. It's like one day, right? Don't we do doubles in one day now?
Not for Genesis.
No,
There's
not for
another top
Genesis.
again.
Is gonna be at the
It's
end.
got
Yeah.
the prestige.
Very true. All right, I swear I didn't contrive this.
Oh my
Y'all
God.
were just kind of incrementally giving me decent, mid-level takes. Didn't go too harsh, didn't go too risky, didn't go too bad. So y'all end up with 43 points, which means we have to go to our tiebreaker. Are we ready? Our tiebreaker to win the show. How do you deal with the existential anxiety of knowing all the lives you cannot live? Let's start with the cheat.
I think that there's one life that really bothers me. I can think about Jackzilla, and my imagination suffices. Chroma, same deal. It's Hbox. What the fuck is Hungrybox's life like? That's the question that I don't know if I'll ever get an answer to. I don't know if I want the answer to it, but goddamn is it compelling. What's he up to? What's going on in that brain? I want to inside out.
This is
Hbox,
not alleviating my anxiety. The cheat, you're out. Chroma.
You got to live life to the fullest, Jack. It's a gift that we have all these possible choices that we can make. And yet we pick the ones that maybe help people have fun, take risks, get out there, do something wild. And so my actual answer is probably this delicious Allagash White. It really kind of dims all of the brain noise that, comes out of everything. Boot up some net
All right. You're done. All right, Zain, what do you think?
For me personally, it's about picking up as many hobbies as I can in one life and trying to fulfill my happiness that way. I think that's the answer, and I got nothing more to say about that.
How do you stay focused on all of them? Do you get bored and sad?
Yeah, especially with stuff like rankings. When rankings are tied to it, I think it can take a lot of the joy out of it, and it's important not to tie your self-worth to that kind of thing. But having those other hobbies and being able to put that same level of passion into other things, I think is
So you're telling me to get a hobby? I guess that's an okay answer.
Yeah.
Fiction. How do you deal with the existential anxiety of knowing about all the lives you cannot live?
I think it's all about the spirit of adventure. I think with things that scare you, things that are unfamiliar, things that you're unsure of, you got to push towards those things. You got to improve yourself to a level that you didn't expect you could. Not like the grind always, but like anything that seems like exciting, especially the things that are exciting and you kind of want it, and part of you's always wanted to do it, and then part of you's a little scared. I think that's where it's at. I think if you just keep doing those things, your brain doesn't have any time to be existential, because that, any other life that you could live, you would also live that with the spirit of adventure in mind. You would just be going ham as much as you could. So I think that's the point of it.
You're always going to be looking other way. I like to think about the oneness of the universe personally, but I am going to say that of these, the answer that made me feel most like I could get to sleep at night was Fiction's. So Fiction, you are the winner of Fourside Fights this week. Congratulations. We're going to get the other three over onto Slippy and get that set up for all of you guys. Please do not leave. It's going to take us a couple minutes to set up, but please stick around for Fiction to commentate the free-for-all on Fourside between Chroma, the Cheat, and Golden Guardians Zain.
What a lineup.
All right, here we go.
All right, Fiction, you win.
Let's see. So somebody has to wait. So it's not. Is it all four players or
No?
The dog has to die.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we're ready.
Oh my god, I'm sandwiched.
what?
It starts?
Am I the only one that's completely frozen?
What do you mean?
Like my Discord stream froze completely.
Oh shit.
Like it's frozen right before Doc died the last time.
I can share
not
my
gonna stop
screen.
this Edgar, I'll tell you
I can
that.
share my screen and you can look at it because I also have it open.
Mikey, get the fuck down here, dude.
Oh, I like sliding here.
Dude.
Oh,
Fiction, do you have anything to
Oh,
shout
like
out?
this.
we have a
Where am I?
UFO fight. I love the UFO. UFOs are real.
Check it.
Fiction, do you have anything that viewers at home should check out of yours? Do you have anything to shill?
I don't know. I've been doing a bunch of Melee content. My game is going to be out on Steam in terms of like a playtest soon, so you'll be seeing me post about that.
Let's
That was
go.
about
Let's get destroyed.
I've been working hard on it, so I think it'll be really sick. So just keep an eye out for that.
Oh, it looks like the stream isn't seeing the game, so we might have to reset the fight.
I'm killing it.
Yeah,
Nope, it doesn't
nobody
count.
saw
It doesn't
Zain.
count.
Nobody saw.
Dude.
JD, do you need a minute?
Dude, this is just like 2021, man.
All right. This
Oh
this
my
game
God.
is gonna be forbidden knowledge.
Wait, why am I frozen?
Everybody's frozen now.
I think it's because Jack left.
Oh, Jack
I didn't
just
leave.
left.
I'm still right here.
It said disconnected.
I'm paused. Oh, it did just disconnect.
Okay, we love back. We go next.
All right, we're gonna try that again.
All right. Are we ready, JD? Okay. That's fine. I don't care if they. This is we're in
I gotta
crazy
enter
time.
the code again. Oh,
You
no.
press R and then Z and then start.
I don't connect to people. I don't know this.
Yeah, you don't connect with people. That's true.
Yeah. I never let them know my next move like that. All right, I'm searching.
I'm searching as well. FOUR.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Are
there.
all four of us searching?
Zain, Mikey,
Yeah, I'm searching.
So it's Zain.
Mr. Zen,
Oh,
Mr. Zen. Did we lose Zain?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's just.
He's in the call, but I can't hear anything. From him.
It was Zain. Zain disconnected.
Oh my God! Oh, it might be.
He
an
just
internet
shows up like behind.
All right. Anybody in the chat who gets the code in Teams FOUR in, you're
No,
gonna be
no.
until Zain gets back. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's fine. Who's gonna get there first? Who's
I'm
gonna
not doing
represent
this without
Zain?
Zain. I'm not doing this without Zain.
He's not here. His internet is out.
I'm
I
on
can't-
searching.
You're unsearching?
Yeah, I
This is
refuse
fucked
this.
up.
I want this. I want this, Roy. Okay.
They
Jack.
should be searching red, by the way. Chroma, this is interactive content. We're way over time. It's a disaster. Zain is abandoning us, but I can pick up the sword.
Because Zayn literally just left.
He's just.
He's
He-
embarrassed.
I said it was just like 2021, and he just.
Hold on.
pulled out his
It's
Ethernet
cannot
cable.
connect to Fidel Castro. This is.
Is
I know who
Slippy
this is.
down?
Oh, that could be bad. No, let's get Edwin Budding in here. It is curtains for Edwin Budding.
Oh my goodness, this is not.
And no danger, you're not getting. See, danger.
Could not connect to players.
Oh
Keep-
God,
keep
it's Edwin.
trying, you. Keep trying, fools. You'll never catch me.
oh, we got
What's going on?
Jack didn't get in.
Oh my God.
Mikey, we gotta beat.
Oh
we have
wait,
to-
it
just me.
started and Jack's not in.
It's just me.
Mikey, we have to beat these
All
guys.
right, this is
Yeah.
dead in the water. Fix
Oh,
whatever it
yeah.
is. We will. Zain now owes us an episode. He's starting off at negative 30 points. I cannot believe
Come
it.
on,
He almost made the
Zayn.
comeback.
Yeah,
He's not
we
even,
can wait
like,
around if
joining-
none of
he
you
should
have
at
other
least
stuff to
join on
do, but
his
I gotta
phone.
eat. I gotta live. What's
Yeah,
going on?
we can keep
Zain
Slippy
is
on
late
his
to the
phone.
episode at the beginning. He dips at the end. This is the most disrespectful Fourside performance.
At least we didn't let him win. If he won too, it'd be so disrespectful. Show up late, win, leave early. There he is.
Hello?
Oh,
Hey, who's dodging this fight?
it's the abandoner.
I got Giga blasted.
All right. Leave these.
All right.
Leave these
New-
fans. We
new
don't care
code.
about the fans.
New code.
Wait, the
Everybody's
fans?
like, oh, you have to be nice to your fans. No, treat them
No.
like garbage, and they love that. They love
All right,
it.
what's
the
the-
slime approach, of course.
What's the new code?
We have to have a secret code that they can't. They can't.
True.
Let's
Oh,
just.
shoot.
Put it in
um,
VoIP Live.
Yeah. I'll put it in VoIP Live. 1 second. It's
Okay.
that's the new code.
Well, this is difficult. I need someone to tell me the code. Okay,
Going
fine.
off the rails here. So let's just play like Never Have I Ever or some shit.
I'm down.
Hey, this will all be. Well, will we leave this in the YouTube? What do you think?
We might.
JD's like, we cut it. Our show is perfect.
Oh.
You think the detected?
It's the T.
Oh god, am I getting Giga Blasted? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
All
I'm
right.
participating now. I'm Team Zain.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, I'm
This is
gonna
Roy.
get curtains for Jack if he does this.
All right, we got double red Roy.
You made
Alright,
me the
Jack.
lighter, Roy? Oh god.
Wait, are we doing this? All right,
Yeah,
Mikey,
let's
we gotta
go.
get the Roy's.
Oh, we're
Get him,
going?
Mikey. Get him, Mikey. Wait, which one is Zayn?
Yes, sir. Zane's
Zayn
the
the
light
light
one.
one?
Fucked.
Can't
Oh.
tell.
Okay, wait, get him. Get him.
Oh fuck!
Oh no, come on, Mikey.
No.
No, dude. It should be a 3v1.
Oh,
Wait, did it cut out?
It froze again.
Dude.
You guys hear me?
Wait,
Oh my
we're
god.
good. We're back. We're back. Oh,
Oh,
I will do
Oh,
it.
let's get Jack. Get him.
we're getting Giga Blasted.
this is such a disaster.
Am I alive?
No, I'm just disconnected
Your
from everybody.
internet sucks.
Alright, let it be known
Alright,
that
alright,
the online era was not played at this house.
You're beating
know-
people on. You're getting
Hold
elo
on.
on this.
I have a solution.
No.
I have a solution. We gotta do this at Genesis.
Yeah.
Friday?
This is unreal
What else
levels
do you
of
fucks there?
incompetence from our goat. Zayn.
Friday at Genesis, we gotta do
All
this.
I heard was goat.
All right, I guess that's our episode. We owe you, the viewers, a Fourside fight at some point. We will figure out how to do this battle in the future. But right now, Zayn is simply too scuffed to be fighting.
Why
And
is it
it's
always
always
so
been
scuffed?
that way.
He just loves being scuffed.
I'm
Yeah.
not scuffed.
It's easy to
You're
drop
the
you on this one.
Contra in the chat is blaming my internet. Zayn literally disconnected from our
Wait,
Discord
You
call.
disconnect.
This is,
Maybe
this
it
is
was Jack.
insane. All right. Bye, everybody. Great episode. Congratulations to our winner of
Bye,
Fiction. Everybody applaud.
Well done, Fiction.
No,
Glad I
Zane
beat
was
Zane.
playing live from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah. We'll see you next
Actually,
time. We'll try to get something going at Genesis, or at least that week.
Redo the
See you
rankings.
then.